Hello, this is the mid-September weather and climate outlook update for the grain growing region of Western Australia. This outlook will focus on rainfall and temperature, including frost, in the next weeks and months to support upcoming decisions. First, the key messages for WA. And soil moisture levels remain below average for northern growing areas, but there is still some moisture further south. Into October, soil moisture levels are expected to decline even further. Below median rainfall continues to be the expectation in the next weeks and months, and in terms of temperature, we are still expecting above median daytime and nighttime temperatures, but frost does remain a risk heading into October. Looking now at soil moisture, and we're about halfway through September, but most grain growing areas have seen less than half to 1/3 of the average monthly rainfall. If we draw a line from roughly Irwin in the north, down to Northern, and then to Lake Grace, all areas east of this have seen less than 10 millimeters and less than 5 millimeters for places like Moruya and Keller-Barron. But the situation to the west of that line is still very much below average, with places like Katanning seeing just 18 millimeters for the month compared to the monthly average of 50 millimeters there. Soil moisture levels are lowest around the Geraldton Port Zone, northeast of a line roughly from Mingaloo down to Corrigan. But reports on the ground are that there are still pockets of average to above average soil moisture further south. And the decision support team did drive down the Great Northern Highway, and there is quite a strong abrupt gradient that's not quite represented on the map here. However, heading into October, we can expect dry conditions to continue to impact soil moisture levels, particularly across the south, where we'll see that decline in soil moisture levels even further. And of course, high temperatures over the past weeks have also contributed to soil moisture losses. Looking now at the 10-day accumulated rainfall totals, comparing the EC model on the left and the Access model on the right-hand side. The next rain-bearing system is due on Wednesday the 13th, and so much of what you see here is due to that one system. It will clear quite quickly, and there is very little for the remaining outlook here. The highest totals will be along the coast, from about Geraldton, inland to about Moruya, and then down to Narrogin, but it really will depend on where those showers and storms do form. We'll see less further inland though, and there is a little bit of model inconsistency east of about Merredin towards Southern Cross, with the Access model on the right-hand side painting a little bit more rainfall, but there is low confidence of this outcome. Next, looking at the outlook of rainfall for the final 2 weeks of September and the chance of exceeding median rainfall. It is expected to be drier, although past accuracy is quite low, with only around 50% of historical accuracy for the last fortnight of September. But in this case, it does look like the model can be trusted, and that's because we are expecting to see a strong ridge of high pressure develop over the southern Indian Ocean, and that will limit opportunities for rainfall across WA. Looking to October, and the model is again painting a picture of below median rainfall for grain growing areas. Interestingly though, areas east of a line from Geraldton down to about Dalwallinu and then Lake Grace are seeing about a 50-50 chance of seeing above typical rainfall. Accuracy is low for this month for inland areas, so that is certainly something to be aware of. But we can also look at international models, and what you see here is a blend of the US, European, Japanese and Canadian models. It is again looking at the chance of seeing above median rainfall, and it is showing a patch of about 50-50 to the north, similar to the Access model. So this would be one area to watch in October. Looking at November to January, and again the chance of exceeding median rainfall does show a dry outlook for grain growing areas, with some areas 50-50 further inland. But interestingly and importantly, we do see an increase in accuracy across eastern inland areas. Looking again at international models, and this does agree with that kind of drying trend, but there is a little bit of differences between the Access model and these international models here. As for frost, we're on the lookout for some cooler nights from this weekend into next week. We can see minimum temperatures here from Sunday of about less than 6 degrees, decreasing to less than 3 degrees around the Narrogin area, and we could even see some temperatures below 5 degrees creep up towards Cunderdin and even areas further north of this. Looking now at the extended frost outlook, and these are experimental maps looking at the chance of seeing overnight temperatures of less than 2 degrees, first for the week starting the 22nd on the left hand side, and on the right the fortnight starting the 22nd. It does show a fairly low chance of 10 to 40% during that first week, but looking and including that second week, a slight uptick in the chance of frost. And so this does tell us that frost is very much still a possibility as we head into the last part of September and into early October. Looking now at the extended minimum temperature outlook and the chance of seeing above median minimum temperatures from October to December. We are expecting to see more clear skies overnight, and so the risk of frost doesn't completely go away, but of course it does decrease as we head into later October, and there is good past accuracy for WA. In terms of maximum temperatures, we are expecting to see above median maximum temperatures for pretty much the entire state from October through to December, and there is strong past accuracy of the model. And in the last update, we did show this map here, which shows the chance of the difference from sea level pressure from the average. And it is showing that we are expecting to see anomalously high pressure to the south and over WA from October to December. This means two things for WA. First, those rain-bearing systems from the west do tend to be weakened off, which does result in less rainfall. But with high pressure to the south, it does mean that we do tend to see more of these dry easterly winds coming across WA. So this does help to paint a little bit of a picture as to why we are seeing this dry and warm outlook for WA. That's it for this Grains Climate Outlook. We'd love to hear more from you. So scan the QR code on your screen now or visit the website below to fill in a short survey about the video and send through any other feedback. Thanks for watching.